Morning guys, hope you're well. Welcome to Do Daily. Wake up to walk. It's Des here of course. Just out and about on a Friday morning. Just I was going to say just starting the second leg of the Robin Hood Way, but I'm actually not. A bit tricky this morning and I'll explain that in a moment, but you can't see it. Just over there is Wollerton Hall. But bit of a nightmare already, but we're up and about, we're attacking the day, and that's what's really important, isn't it? Yeah, so I got to Wollerton Park gates to continue off from where I left last week, and they were locked. So this is about the closest I've got to taking a picture. I've got some pictures, so I'll make sure I get those put on the end, although there won't be as many today. And then two things I've learned already about the Robin Hood Trail is it's not very well signposted and there's no real definitive map. So I've had a little bit of trouble getting back on track, but I'm here at the moment. Like I say, just that view behind me. I'm not sure if you can see it, probably not. It's probably a little bit too small. So not to worry, like I say. I'm heading in the right direction now. I'm heading out from Wollerton Park, across Wollerton Vale. We're at a place at the moment called Sandy Lane Nature Reserve. It just leads us through to the Broxtowe Country Park area. You might remember a couple of weeks ago I was at the Hemlock Stone, and that's kind of where I'm heading right now. So like I say, thankfully back on track. Anyway, I'm out and about and that's all that matters. Lots of others getting in some sort of activity, plenty of runners, the guy just passed me there, plenty of walkers, dog walkers, people in good spirits despite the bleak weather today. I was hoping it would be a bit nicer. I was hoping to get some great pictures of Wollerton Hall. Just a few things about that. It's actually owned by Nottingham City Council. It has been for about 100 years now. It's a place where lots of people in Nottingham know they host concerts. Of course, it's in the last few years it's become famous for Batman. It featured in the Dark Knight Rises. And what's interesting about that, in all honesty, is the Wollerton is actually 5 miles north of Gotham, which Gotham City is named after, in a bizarre kind of way. But it's been proven. So whilst Gotham is a suburb of New York, it's actually taken its name from a little village in Nottinghamshire, which is great, really, isn't it? It's fantastic. But yeah, so that's a bit about that, a bit about Wollerton Park. So moving on, of course, like I said, I'm heading out towards sort of Bronco Hills Park and Broxtowe area. Really sort of enjoying the quiet this morning, you know, really need it. I think a little bit tired, what's new, but I mentioned yesterday on Thursday Thoughts I've been listening to I was listening to something a friend sent me about walking, and the reason it's so important, I know I kind of say this every week, and we talk about mood and helping us sort of start the day in the right frame of mind. Try not to be too technical, but one of the real reasons it's so important is because basically our body clocks don't work to 24 hours. They work a little bit longer than that, and that's why a lot of the time some of us really struggle to sleep. And effectively what we need to do is reset them as soon as possible, and that's why walking in the morning can be so important, because you get all that blue light, which is proven to reduce the production of melatonin. Like I said, I don't want to get too technical, but the melatonin is a chemical that tells us to go to sleep. But what we really need to do is stop that as early as we can, so we build up that sort of tiredness, you know. And of course I mentioned yesterday about the serotonin, which it produces as well, which is put into antidepressants and other things artificially, you know, to give us that boost. So if we can get out and, like I say, reset a clock as early as possible, you know, and build up that tiredness, build up that sort of energy as well throughout the day, which then means that we need to take that bit of rest. That's what it's all about, and I only learned that yesterday. I thought that was really interesting to pass on. I thought it was like I say, the fact that the body clock doesn't reset itself after 24 hours is one of the reasons I probably struggle, do you know. And I've just been saying to Kay recently, I really struggle in the winter, and it's probably a case of seasonal affective disorder. Do you know, lots of people suffer from that, but I've noticed all of a sudden I'm waking up a lot earlier. Our house is south facing, so it looks at the sun comes straight through the window in the morning, which again is probably the reason it's waking me up. It's resetting my body clock, and it's making me more prepared to attack the day and get up, which is, like I say, really interesting stuff. I just thought I'd pass that on. This week, so basically this week we've been looking at a lot of evaluating a lot, looking at the first 3 months of the year and what we've been up to, you know, and I think that's really important as well, you know. Over the past few years, kind of morning, kind of been looking on a yearly basis. It's probably a little bit too long in reality, you know. Lots of things can happen in a year, you know, to sort of stop us in our tracks. So what I'm trying to do is kind of look back over sort of quarterly periods, reevaluate, look how I can take that forward. I think that's really important, isn't it? You know, because we need to keep checking in through coronavirus, through lockdown. I think that's become as important as ever, to keep checking in where we're at with our own mental health, with our own physical health, and all the things we get so much from. You know, it's just important to realise how it's currently working for us. You know, we can quickly sort of get bogged down in everyday life, get bogged down with things around us, and really struggle to accept sometimes. And before we know it, we've got ourselves into a bit of a hole, or just breezing through life without sort of paying attention to the things that are important. So that's why I've been doing that. That's kind of been the focus this week. Like I said, I think that's really important, you know, just to maintain that sort of reality, I guess. You know, it's all about the reality of where we're at and what we're doing, you know, so that's important. So I'm just passing. So in general, that's given me some real sort of purpose to the week, and I talk about that as well, don't I? You know, it's given me real purpose in attacking what I need to do, whilst a few frustrations in there, a few worries and concerns. You know, I still feel really positive. I still feel like my energy's high and I've got plenty to sort of do and offer at the moment, you know, and that's so important, you know, because such things as not being able to run like I have this week, you know, would have really upset me a few months, a few years ago. Would have really sort of set me back and changed my whole outlook, you know. And like I say, by getting up, by adding purpose, by doing Do Daily, by talking about the way I'm feeling and the way it's working, you know, by evaluating and planning all the time. Yeah, it might sound like, oh God, for God's sake, shut up, you know, but it's definitely important, isn't it? It's so important to do all these things, to make sure we give it a real go, you know, and that's what Fridays are all about. Especially I talk about doing it there over a 3-month period, but on a Friday I do it every week on a Friday, so that's particularly important to me, you know, just to see how and where I can improve, how I can sort of, what I can leave behind, what I can take forward, you know, head into the weekend feeling full of it, looking forward to the things I'm doing. Definitely doing that this week, looking forward to potentially getting a run back in, starting to feel a little bit sort of less achy, less tired, and that's the purpose of taking that break. So I'll be giving that a go, you know, I'll be looking forward to all the things I do. I'm just popped out into I think I've gone wrong. if I'm honest. Just popped out into another sort of estate, really not well signposted, but I've done about 2.5 miles so far, which I think is about 3,000 steps, so I'm a third of the way through that as well. You know, lots of people doing that challenge, adding purpose in that way. Added a small planking challenge this week, check that out in the Do Running group. You know, really worth taking part in. I can already feel the benefits whilst I've got a bit of a achy tummy from it. That's what it's supposed to do. Again, just trying to work on those small things that make such a difference. And I say it every week, but Friday is such a small thing we can take forward. Friday mornings, getting up early. Started doing it on a Thursday with Kay, although we didn't get out yesterday. We've been doing it on a regular basis, and it's made such a difference. Even that one extra day, I've just noticed, as I touched on before, my sleep's getting so much better, you know. And if I can nail that one, I feel I can nail anything, because in all the time I've been doing Do Daily, that's been a real struggle. Think I'm back on track now. Think I'm heading in the direction I should be. Like I say, this morning has been an absolute nightmare, but it doesn't matter, does it? I've got out, got in the activity, got in some fresh air, reducing that melatonin, you know, waking myself up properly to really attack the day. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Nothing too much today, guys. Nothing too, no stats attack, because there's nothing particularly interesting along the way. But I'm sure next week when I rejoin at the other side of Bronco Park, you know, there'll be lots more to see, and it's a lot more straightforward. I've kind of noticed that already. It's definitely a lot more straightforward, you know, and I'll be a lot more sort of in tune with what I'm doing. Today's been a bit of a mismatch, you know. Hopefully the videos come out all right. You know, it's just my thoughts, just my reflections and little things I've picked up over the week. It's not supposed to be too much, you know, so hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe if you have. Check out the videos from earlier in the week. Particularly enjoyed making those this week. Just shoot across the road. Particularly enjoyed some of those, you know. Pleased with my output again, you know, whilst it's me walking around with a selfie stick and a mobile phone, you know, it's it does so much for my mood and picking me up. So there's some good ones to watch back on. For now, have a great weekend, you know. Get up early and get out if you can. Just give it a try. Let me know what you think if you do get out for a walk. Doesn't have to be first thing in the morning, but the earlier the better, you know. If you're not a morning person, you can always try it a little bit later. It just helps wake you up, and I've really found that's what works for me, you know. Rather than get to a Friday night and sit up all night watching TV, now I'm actually willing to go to bed and then make the most of the weekend, you know. Never lying, which is a great thing, to be honest, because who wants to waste their life in bed? But yeah, so until Monday and Monday motivation, have a good one. You know, I'm just gonna see the end of this, about 3 miles in total, so that on top of last week's, that's about nearly 7 miles completed of the 100. I'm hoping the next 7 are going to be a little more straightforward. Just doing it.